Hello everyone, it's Jamal Thomas. Welcome to the Progressive Soapbox. So I'm still on Facebook until the YouTube thing is sorted out. Still on Facebook till the YouTube thing is sorted out. Jordan Sheridan is going to be on the show. That is going to be on YouTube Live, however. That's going to be on my own channel. I have a separate channel that I was using when it went down last time, so I'm going to be using that channel this time. Hope everyone is doing okay. It's 10:39 on a, what's today? Wednesday. Oh, PMQs. I need to check PMQs. That's going to be awesome. Thing I want to talk about today. So the United States, France, and the UK, they asserted to us, to the populations, that look, we know what's best. Our morality is of such a high caliber that it exceeds this thing called law, be it our local laws or international laws. And when we believe something, when we our fucking values, we can go bomb shit because that's what our values demand. Now, a lot of us, the malcontents of the bunch, have said you need a little bit more evidence, or at the very least we need some evidence. We need something other than your great morality, because we need to know that A, something is taking place, and B, that if something is taking place, the people who you are ascribing blame to actually did it. At the very least, can we at least establish that before jumping to this other thing of what to do about it? I understand your morality, your values, all that good stuff. Yada, yada. I agree. I get it. I get it. Can we get evidence? Now, pursuant to that point, though, even given for the moment, if they did have evidence, say they were right. Say everything that they were saying were right. Is it legal? That's a fucking interesting question, right? Take a listen to this. You've heard me make this argument that this is grossly illegal, so I'm going to answer my question in advance. But that's me. That's a malcontent. That's somebody who's on the far fringe of the left that's screaming this stuff saying that shit's illegal. There's Ron Paul's on the right. There's a Rand Paul's on the right. But what about a general? What about a general that's in the military apparatus itself and is in the room when they're making the declarations to do these things? What does he say about it? If he's posed this question on one weird, odd day in Congress, what does he say? Well, Tulsi Gabbard for president.
You know, the president has indicated recently his intention to launch U.S. military attacks against Syria. Article 1 of the Constitution gives Congress the sole power to declare war. Congress has not done so against the Syrian government. Section 3 of the War Powers Resolution requires the president to consult with Congress before introducing U.S. armed forces into situations of hostilities. Section 2 of the War Powers Resolution clarifies the constitutional powers of the president as commander-in-chief in Article 2, which you referenced, Secretary Mattis, to introduce forces into hostilities only pursuant to 1, a declaration of war, 2, specific statutory authorization, or 3, a national emergency created by an attack upon the U.S., its territories, possessions, or armed forces. Syria has not declared war against the U.S. or threatened the U.S. The launch of 59 missiles against Syria by Trump last year was illegal and did not meet any of those criteria in the War Powers Resolution. The Consolidated Appropriations Act of 2018, which was signed into law by President Trump, states that none of the funds made available by this act may be used with respect to Syria in contravention of the War Powers Resolution, including for the introduction of U.S. armed military forces into hostilities in Syria. My question is, will the president uphold the Constitution, the War Powers Resolution, and comply with the law that he signed by obtaining authorization from Congress before launching U.S. military attacks against Syria?
Congresswoman, we have not yet made any decision to launch military attacks into Syria. I think that when you look back at President Obama sending the U.S. troops into Syria, at the time he did, he also had to deal with this type of situation because we were going after a named terrorist group that was not actually named in the AUMF that put them in. This is a complex area, I'll be the first to admit.
That's an interesting euphemism you use in there, General James Mathis. That's an interesting euphemism. By the way, just in case you missed it, complex is a euphemism for illegal. Complex is a euphemism for illegal. Yeah, that's a toughie there, Senator Representative. That's a toughie. That's a toughie. It is a toughie indeed. It is illegal. That's the word you're looking for, mister. Now, let's move on to this. So, Mattis, again, was asked a different question. Or at the very least, Mattis came in order to explain his activities. About, essentially, either the question was put to him or he was explaining what evidence did they have of what had taken place. Meaning, how do you know? How do you know there was a chemical strike? How do you know there were chemical weapons? How do you know these things? Explain to us. You're telling us, you're asserting these things, but how do you know? This is RT. Now, I'm using RT here. Half of this article is just RT being pissed off. So take off the pissed off part. I care more about the details about what actually took place, the flat facts of the bunch. On April 12th, even U.S. Secretary of Defense Mattis told the House Armed Services Committee that the United States government does not have any evidence of sarin or chlorine was used, that he was still looking for evidence. Are you now? Are you now? Now, if you remember, Mattis is the same guy that was asked, I believe, in 2017 or 2018, what evidence did they have in the previous chemical strike was caused by the Syrian government? And he said, none. We have no idea who did that strike. But the United States forces were used in that. Part of her calling it to account was what you did prior was illegal. And any strike that you do now is illegal. And the strike that you do now is illegal even if you found evidence of gas. But before we even get to that point, what evidence do you even have that it took place? And according to Mattis, we're still looking for evidence. We're still looking for evidence. Here's another peculiarity. President Trump, instead waiting for an investigation to confirm his evidence, chose the very night before this investigation team would arrive in Syria to inspect the allegations to bomb Syria. The timing of the attacks is more than just a little timely, and the bombings were illegal. Yeah, I agree. General Master tries to dance around the legality, stating the president has authority under Article 2 of the Constitution to use military force overseas to defend the important national interests. Wow, that's a hell of a flexible word, interest. Oh, this is like calling terrorists moderates. Yeah, they're moderates. No, they're terrorists. Call them what they are. They're terrorists. And in this case, dancing around this idea of legality using national interests. Under that model, everything is in the United States' national interest. Everything. That can justify an attack on the EU if you wanted to. Right here. And let's get to what they bombed. Regarding the actual nature of the building bomb, Syrian media, SANA, describes the Pharmaceutical and Chemical Industry Research Institute, a center on preparing the chemical composing for cancer drugs. The destruction of the institute is peculiarly bitter, as under the criminal Western sanctions, cancer medication sales to Syria are prohibited. Interview with one of its employees said, Jesus Christ, that's so odd. Corroborates, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to rag on his name, it's just odd phrasing or lettering or combination. It's just an odd combination. Said corroborates SANA's, let's call it SANA's, description of the facility making cancer treatments and other medicinal components. One article includes Said's logical point. If there were chemical weapons, we would not be able to stand here. I've been here since 5:30 and I am full health. I'm not coughing. On the facility, the same SANA article noted that its lab had been visited by OPCW with issued 2 reports negating claims of any chemical weapon activities. This is a point Syrian Ambassador Al-Jaif Ja'afari raised on April 14th's UN Security Council meeting, noting that the OPCW handed to Syria an official document which confirmed that the Bazaar Center was not used for any type of chemical activity that would be in contravention of Syrians' obligation regarding the OPCW. Don't take my word for it. don't take RT's word for it because they're a biased actor. What about the OPCW? The OPCW looked at the facility that they bombed and said, there's nothing here. There's nothing here. That's amazing. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at that. I'm not gonna keep this one long. This one is basic, straight to the point. They bombed a cancer research facility, and even if you want to say, well, maybe the Syrian government has a reason to lie about this, the OPCW has cleared the place as a cancer research facility, or at the very least said there's no chemical weapons used here. And it's particularly dickish since apparently it is illegal to sell cancer drugs to Syria. Good job. General Mathis is still looking for evidence. And the evidence they did get came from terrorists. And Twitter, apparently. Just saying. Just saying. I will end this here. I will see you guys shortly. Thanks, guys.